Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to unpack compelling material, looking for those really powerful insights.
That's what we do.
And today we are taking a closer look at the H7O Ministry's daily devotional. This one's titled Chosen Instrument, From Persecutor to Missionary. Our mission really is to pull out the transformative truths, from this really profound story. We want to explore how these, seemingly impossible changes can actually happen. Radical shifts in purpose, identity.
Absolutely. And this devotional, it's not just telling a story from history. It really zooms right in on this monumental shift, like a complete rerouting of someone's life. It shows that incredible sovereign power the text talks about.
Yeah.
So our conversation today isn't just about, what happened. It's digging into why it matters so much for how we understand grace, maybe our own calling, and just the sheer scope of divine transformation.
Yeah.
It's a story that kind of challenges all our ideas about who's too far gone.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this then. Because the devotional, it really does set a vivid scene, doesn't it? It paints this, stark picture of Saul.
Oh, definitely.
He wasn't just some minor opponent of the early followers. He was, as it says, the face of persecution.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, try to picture someone who literally breathed threats,
Yeah.
authorized arrests left and right, and even applauded executions.
Chilling.
He wasn't just disagreeing, he was this formidable, genuinely terrifying force. Like the complete opposite of Christ's message. The fear he caused must have been immense.
It must have been. But then you get this incredibly traumatic turning point. The devotional walks us through it on the road to Damascus.
Right, the famous story.
And it wasn't gradual, not at all. It was sudden, a sovereign intervention. Christ himself steps in with light, voice, and sovereignty. And it wasn't like, hey, Saul, I want to join. No, it was described as an irresistible call, a divine interception that just fundamentally rerouted his entire life, his purpose, everything.
Everything changed in that moment.
Exactly. This persecutor, Saul, is completely transformed into Paul. And not just any follower, but specifically commissioned as the apostle to the Gentiles. And what's truly mind-blowing, and the devotional really hammers this home, is the paradox. He who spread fear would now spread the message of reconciliation.
It's unbelievable.
It's the ultimate turnaround story, isn't it? The biggest enemy becomes the biggest advocate.
And what really strikes me about this new calling, you see it in Acts 9, and the devotional points it out too, is the cost involved right from the start.
Yes.
It wasn't just go preach to these groups, Gentiles, kings, Israel. It was explicitly stated he would suffer for it.
Suffer for his name.
Yeah, chosen to carry Christ's name, but carrying it meant paying a deep personal price. It wasn't a call to an easy life, but to real commitment, even when facing huge hardship.
And, what's fascinating here is that even after this spectacular direct encounter with Christ, God's plan still involved people, human connection.
Ah, right, Ananias.
Exactly. Ananias steps in, and he plays this crucial part. The devotional really highlights a core truth here.
Yeah.
No one serves alone.
That's so important.
God sends Ananias to welcome Saul, lay hands on him, baptize him. It just underlines this vital principle. Even a direct divine calling needs confirmation, needs strengthening, needs integration into the community of faith. This ecclesial communion, that's the term the devotional uses, basically our life together in the church. It validates and sustains the calling.
So it's not just about the lightning bolt moment.
No, it's a reminder that God uses ordinary people, relationships, not just, miraculous flashes of light.
That emphasis on community really hits home, especially like when we try to go it alone so often.
For sure.
But then the devotional pushes us a bit further, right, to look at the bigger picture, the core principles we can take from Saul's radical shift. So, okay. What are those lasting lessons for us from this incredible turnaround?
Well, the devotional boils it down to 4 really powerful principles, things we can all reflect on. First, it says that God chooses profoundly unlikely instruments for his glory.
Unlikely is putting it mildly with Saul.
Right. His election was not based on any merit, any qualification, but solely on God's eternal purpose. I mean, that just flies in the face of human logic, doesn't it? We look for the qualified, the deserving, the ones with the nice resumes. But God, as the devotional points out, often picks the least likely, the ones who seem totally opposed. Why? To show his sovereign power and grace. It echoes Ephesians, being chosen in him before the foundation of the world.
Wow.
Saul was the absolute last person anyone would have picked, yet God chose him, turned him into this living proof of his power.
That's a huge perspective shift. It really challenges our ideas of who's worthy or good enough. It just flips the script entirely. So humbling.
Totally humbling. Okay, so the second principle the devotional brings out is that the ministerial calling is profoundly inseparable from suffering.
Oof.
Carrying Christ's name, living out that purpose,
Hmm.
it often involves carrying the cross daily.
Hmm.
And that's not just, big dramatic persecution, though Paul definitely had that.
Right.
It's also the daily stuff. The surrenders, the sacrifices, being misunderstood, the sheer weariness sometimes, the vulnerability that comes with really following Christ. The devotional admits the price of the calling is high, but then adds, the reward is eternal. It's a tough truth, but it reframes how we think about spiritual growth.
It is a tough truth that the call includes pain. But like you said, it brings us back to that other piece, community.
Precisely. Which leads right into the third principle. Integration into the church is an indispensable part of God's plan. We saw it with Ananias. And later Barnabas comes along, the guy who bravely vouched for Paul when everyone else was still terrified of him.
Right. Barnabas was key, too.
They show us no one serves alone. These relationships in the faith community, they aren't just nice extras. They're essential. They literally sustain the calling. You just can't start or continue a deep spiritual journey totally isolated. The church community gives us accountability, encouragement, sometimes correction, a place to belong and get stronger. It's God's design.
Makes sense. And the final one, which I think might be the most hopeful part of this whole devotional.
Ah, yes. Grace transforms.
That's it.
Yeah, this fourth principle just beautifully wraps it all up. It's the powerful crescendo. Grace, the devotional says, not only forgives, but it fundamentally transforms. It's not just wiping the slate clean. It's making something entirely new, a new identity, new purpose, new heart.
Total rebuild.
Exactly. And it uses those powerful contrasts. The persecutor becomes a preacher, the enemy, a brother, the destroyer, a kingdom builder. It's a complete metamorphosis driven solely by grace. Just the ultimate proof of God's power to redeem and repurpose anyone.
So putting it all together, what does this mean for you listening right now, for us? How do these ancient stories, these principles from the devotional, actually connect to our lives today?
Well, the devotional gives us some very practical takeaways, things to chew on. First, it encourages us. Pray for impossible conversions. It reminds us no one is beyond the reach of sovereign grace. Think about that person you know who seems unreachable, whose life looks totally opposed to God. This story says, pray for them because God does the impossible. Second, it nudges us to prepare to serve sacrificially. We talked about it, but it's worth saying again. The calling includes glory, but it also includes pain.
Yeah. Be ready for both.
Right. If you're called to carry his name, expect joy, but also expect challenges.
Yeah.
Maybe sacrificing comfort, time, your own plans for his purpose. And third, it urges us. Value the Ananias and Barnabas in your life.
The people who help us along.
Exactly. They are God's instruments to confirm and sustain your journey. Think about who those people are for you. The ones who welcomed you, mentored you, stood by you, spoke truth to you. Cherish them, lean on them, and maybe be that person for someone else too.
It really drives home that core message, doesn't it? So humbling. God's calling is never, ever based on who we are, our past, our mess-ups, what we think makes us qualified. It's all about who he is. He chooses, he sends, he sustains, even when the journey involves suffering and total transformation. That's such a powerful, freeing truth.
And maybe a final thought for you to ponder today, right from the devotional. Perhaps the greatest persecutor of Christ you know could be his next chosen instrument.
Wow. What a thought to carry with you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the H7O Ministries daily devotional today.
It was great digging into this.
And we are just so grateful for the amazing H7O community. Thank you for your support, for engaging with the daily devotional. It means a lot. If you'd like to learn more about the ministry or support its work, please do visit h7o.life. See you tomorrow. Blessing.